Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Rad, and tonight, what do we need to know is going to be the topic of tonight's live stream, so consider this reading as immediate guidance. And as you may know, that's one of my favorite type of shows. So if you had looked into the thumbnail, you would have saw 3 cards which I have pre-drew today, just before I released the live stream. And these are for the collective reading, what we all need to know all right now as of this moment. And let me put my camera preview here so I make sure you do see the cards. So the first one that I drew today, that was the 7 of Swords. Then the second card, which is a very interesting element of dignity, Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to interpret the three of them instead of just stopping by these two, but a very interesting element of dignity nonetheless. And the third card, that is a Judgment, which does sweetens the deal very, very much. And what is the deal, you may ask? Well, with the 7 of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles being set up in that way, where the 7 of Swords, it is the prime card, influenced by the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, these two. That pretty much means that everyone can, or I don't know if it is accurate to say have it their way. More of it is like a things can work towards everyone's agenda. So at the end of the day, everyone can be satisfied, which is a pretty damn good message considering what is going on into the world right now, I would say. And additionally to it, well, that is also part of the deal, I guess, but additionally to it, when I mean that everyone can have the things developed towards theirs agenda, I also mean that everyone will be satisfied to an extent that everyone will consider the debt paid at the end of the day. So throughout the next few days, if we do play our cards right, it kind of speaks that everyone will be happy. Everyone will feel that, like, they didn't have to betray their principles. They didn't have to betray their code of conduct. They didn't have to betray their ideals, morals, standards, concepts, and all these things. At the end of the day, it worked out, okay? It's just in the witching hour, everything worked out. And this is where the Judgment actually sweetens the deal here with having influencing the 7 of Swords, and the Judgment. Basically, it is the perfect circumstances being kind of like presented into the exact moment of need, so to speak. So that pretty much speaks that this condition, this deal, it almost feels like deal with the devil, okay? And when I say deal with the devil, that is not because, there are going to be any bad repercussions. I'm saying it because, that God helps only those that just helps themselves, but God is not the only one who can kind of like has the power to make miracles. So the one that really helps, it's, Anyway, so the perfect circumstances are going to be presented on a pretty much silver plate, and all that it's kind of like falls down to us, I just take that opportunity. And that's pretty much how things are going to play out. Now, of course, there is one thing that can pretty much, can I put it into words, destroy all that, and this is ego, right? Kind of like trampling everything because of thy ego. So it's very important that we do put our pride and our ego on the shelves and think with our brains rather than with our hearts in the next few days. And then everybody is gonna get what they, not just only what they deserve, but also what they have been owed. Everyone is gonna get that. So that was the collective reading. And Yasmin, thank you for the $20 PayPal support. Thank you, Yasmin. And as well, Mattia, thank you for the $20 PayPal support as well. And Nancy, thank you for the $20 super chat. Thank you. You guys are gonna get your reading at the end of the stream. Let me put you, Nancy, into the list. Jasmine, thank you for the $20 as well. Thank you, Jasmine. Let me put you as well into the list. All right. So, few notes about the show. First of all, you need to know that these are gonna be readings for your star signs, or for the star signs. So based on what your rising sign is, where your moon is, and as well what sign you are born under, you can use those readings as a guidance, which it is their purpose. And they will refer and apply to you to a certain extent, but bear in mind again that these are a star sign readings. They are not your personal readings. For a personal reading, you can always go to my website, which link you will find in the description down below, and there at the very first page you will find full list of my services and as well their pricing. And if you do enjoy the show and you do want to support us financially, you can do so using the super chat button here on your chat UI. And if you can't go through super chat, you can do PayPal, which link you can find in the description down below. Anyone who supported and is about to support the channel through those two venues, you guys are gonna get your reading at the end, your personal reading at the end of the stream. That's guaranteed. And if you don't have any particular inquiry, the reading is going to be about what you specifically need to know as of this moment. So with that said, the first star sign that I'm going to read for, as usual, that is Aries. You can track which star sign I am at by observing the glyph which is on my right hand side here. So let me shuffle and see what you guys need to be aware of, Aries. Yeah, I'm glad that you are here as well, Yasmin. Because you support us every time, and I think that every time you are watching your reading, record it, and it will be a pleasure to kind of like perform your reading in front of you. So for Aries, first one, that will be the 8 of Wands, followed by the second card, which is the Hangman. And the third card for Aries, that is the Fool. So what you need to know, guys, is that pretty much the obstacles are over. They are down. We do have that beautiful elements of dignity, the 8 of Wands with the Hangman, all right? And it does not just only speaks that whatever obstacles and plights you are facing by that point, whether to express your feelings, you know, whether to make some lucrative business maneuvers, or whether, I don't know, to buy a house, for example. Not just you ain't gonna find any obstacles to do what you want, but also there are going to be many ways how you can do it. There are many ways how you can build a business. There are many ways how you can express your emotions, many ways how you can make a friend or satisfy your needs, whatever case. And you get to choose. Now, the good thing And how can I put it into words? I am very surprised to see that this card does it, which is the Fool, and it does it in a very uncharacteristic way. Almost, I can say, in a surreptitious way, because you wouldn't be able to feel it, so to speak. But with those two cards, what we have, it is that any risks that you can take in those new venues, you will see, like I said, multiple ways how you can do one or another thing. It's not like the risk isn't going to be there. It's not like you won't be able to, you will not going to face the consequences of that risk. But with the Fool that being there, it means that any of those consequences is something you can handle. Because usually, if the Eight of Wands is alone, that card involves a lot of opportunities, but also involves a lot of risks with those opportunities. And you can under its influence, you can take the wrong one and lose everything. But with the Fool puts a, how can I put it into words? It puts a bar that you cannot drop under, right? And everything you try afterwards, whatever it consequences brings, it does not affect anything up until that bar, meaning up until now. So at least according to these cards, whatever you have built by that point, saved by from your tries, from a negative impact from your tries in the next few days. So that is what you need to know. All right, next, that will be Taurus. Six of Swords, Death, Three of Pentacles. It's moving on alone for a couple of reasons. Whether you do not need the foreign assets, or whether those foreign assets are withheld or they don't serve a purpose anymore. But nonetheless, that is like, you know, the moment where a baby becomes a toddler, right? Where, because what I consider it as soon as human being makes its first step on its own, it's a toddler now, it's not a baby. So it is the same thing, you know, and think of it figuratively, that you have used, say, somebody to walk up until this point, whether within your business, whether within your love life, but you can walk alone now. Okay, you can explore the world, because it's about an exploration here. You can explore your options available, you can explore a new future, you can explore, and it's going to be something new, all right? That is a threshold. You need to know that you are on a threshold of a unknown future, so to speak, and that is something that can frighten you in the next few days, that you wouldn't know, you know, where you're going, what is going to come after, what's going to come, how can I put it into words, what will be the result of one or another action. But also what you need to know, it is that at this moment, any action is better than no action. Any step, any move is better than doing nothing. And no one can does it for you, right? No one can does it for you. That Death card next to the Six of Swords, it kind of puts a bit of a buffer, for a lack of better expression. What I mean is that once you start making those fearless steps, or rather like fearful maybe, because like I said, you may be afraid of taking one action or making one decision. you're also going to have to adopt some kind of a new thinking, so to speak, some kind of a new concept or new standards, and you wouldn't mind. That is how the death falls into this reading. You wouldn't mind, you wouldn't regret that you had to, for example, cut ties with that thing or this person or that deal, because you will know there that the future holds better thing, and it does, right? So look at it that way, Taurus. Now is the moment where you stop thinking about what you want and start doing something about it. Or rather, like, stop daydreaming about what you want and start doing something about it. All right, next, Gemini. Nine of Swords, Seven of Swords, Eight of Swords. Ooh. Give me a moment. There are quite a few messages here. Now, there will be a particular anxiety that you are going to experience, and that is an anxiety of, have you been understood? Think of it that way. You have a business meeting, you make a pitch, your boss tells you, I'm going to think about it, and when the door closes, you kind of like think about, have I did everything I could? Have I said it the way that it is presentable? Have I made it crave for it? Right? Have I made him crave for it? That is about your boss. And you're going to have those doubts, right? You're going to have the doubts. Did you make your point in front of your spouse? Have you not heard their feelings? Your friends as well? All these things. And this comes from the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Because these two cards, when they are in together, it's kind of like they overflow us with thoughts about negative consequences. Okay, and even the most beautiful thing you may say, you are always going to think about what kind of a negative consequence that may have. For example, you may say or expose yourself in front of someone, telling them that you love them, right? And the next thing immediately is going to be, what if now that person abuses that, right? Or what if denies me, okay? And all these negative thoughts, that is something you need to know, are going to one or another way flood your mind and are going to make you scared. A fear that will have no grounds whatsoever, and that is something you need to know, right? Fear that will have no grounds. And it is important that you stand against that fear. Challenge it, right? If you want, you can put it that way, slam your fist on the table and say, well, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching here, but say I deny you. And I do have a agenda. I do know what I want. I do know what I deserve, because according to these cards, whatever self-righteousness you do have is going to be aligned with the universal one. Okay, so whatever you think right now that you deserve, it is what you deserve, but it's not going to manifest itself on its own. Here with that Seven of Swords to the Nine of Swords, it's something you, I don't want to say fight for, but more like a do for a lack of better expression. And it's important that you do overcome those fears of yours and kind of like start doing something for yourself. But it doesn't have to be for an acquisition only. You know, it could be for a relinquishment. And you may be surprised, but I do have quite a few people that have asked me that throughout the years. Several, in fact, not few. You know, that wants to separate from their wives or from their husbands, which is an agenda of theirs. And if that's your case, according to these cards, there is nothing to be afraid of. You just have to move toward that direction. That is what you need to know. All right, so that was Gemini. Next, we have Cancer. Knight of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. Knight of Wands. It's a very good one. It's actually also a short message. There is a person around you or an entity, because it's a general reading. I can't say if it's, for some it's going to be a person, for others it's going to be a congregation, for third an entity, organization, and so on and so forth. But there are people involved here, right? And whatever the case, these people or that person, according to these cards, know how to manifest your goals, right? It may be a mess in your head. You may want to do something. You may want to find yourself somewhere, and you know the general idea, you have a general concepts, but the know-how, it is yet to be figured out by you. Well, they know it. I mean, that individual. So what you can expect here, it is that you either are going to be approached or you have already been approached, right, by, again, congregation, person, or an entity that is gonna spill out, literally spill out, step by step, how to make what you are after. And above everything else, how to avoid losses, disappointment, setbacks, problems. It's gonna look very simple, and that is something that can make you doubt in the whole thing. There will be no ingenuity, there will be no brilliance into, you know, the steps that you have been told. And you may think, is it really that simple? Oh, the hell it is. It is that simple. So above everything else here, Cancer, what you should know here is to follow, as Pisces Moonbeam said me once, the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. And on a personal level, that's what you need to know. It is that taking off some time, spending it outside of technology and civilization is going to recharge you. For example, going on a hike, spending some, you know, some days on a camp, and so on and so forth. Personally, that isn't something I will ever do, but, you know, it is in the cards. So if it is your thing, by all means. All right, next. Leo. Hey, Anna. Welcome to the stream. Four of Swords. Six of Pentacles. Five of Wands. It's a great one for Leo. And frankly, it's quite the opposite from Cancer here, what we have. So you have either already had that conversation or you're about to, but it's going to be a very profound conversation, even could be as well deliberation, if you will, with a loyal companion that is going to break the chains of pattern. So what I'm trying to say here, it is that you may either had it already or you are about to have that conversation, which pretty much is going to give you the recipe how to, for example, get rich fast, or manifest a relationship without having to date. That is just for example, right? My point here is that through that deliberation and through that conversation, you will have the recipe how to cut a lot of corners, how to take 10 steps for the stride of one. And all this is going to be based on a very lucky consequence, not consequences, not coincidences, circumstances, okay? So very lucky circumstances, they may have not yet happened, or they have just happened a day or two ago, that are surprise to everyone. And it is the surprise that you need to take advantage of, because it's a how can I put it into words, Leo, that is these circumstances, they create a very neutral opportunity. And people who are ossified, right, people who are stuck into their ways, they're going to see this as a problem, as a big problem, something out of the ordinary, something that isn't going according to plan. But those who are opportunistic, you will see it as a breakthrough point, as a weak point into the brick wall everyone is trying to break down and basically put their foot into the uncharted lands. And you will be able to bring it, right? You will know where that weak point is, but it is up to you to take the action. Anna, thank you for the $20 US. Thank you, Anna. Taco, thank you for the $22.22. Thank you, mate. The end of the stream, you will have your personalized reading. Yeah, that's funny thing, Pisces Moonbeam, because me and actually it is my best friend. I adopt that from him. But basically he has a say, right? And it goes like that. When things are going good, that's great, right? I mean, things are just going good. It can always be better, but we should be grateful when things are going good. But when things start going bad, there is no bottom to that hole, man. I mean, they can always go worse. And the moment you think things cannot possibly get any worse, fate surprises you. So yes, you can't F with fate. Anyway, Virgo. Hello, Kate. Knight of Pentacles. Again. Oh my god, Nine of Cups. The Emperor. So what do you need to know most likely concerns a person? Not I think of it could concern also an entity, but most likely a person. And what you need to know is that this person or that entity is willing to make unfathomable for them and for the people that they know them compromises about you or for you. For example, that is, if it is an entity, imagine this is a company that you are applying for a job, and they have their rules, right? But because of you, because something you bring on the table, they're willing to make an exception. And for them, it's a freaking big exception. That is the same thing goes for an individual. They are willing to look the other way. They're willing to kind of like trample their own standards. They're willing to make a compromise that they usually don't do. They never did before. And you may ask why. Well, for entity, again, it is something you bring for the table on the table, but for a person, why? Because they're happy with you. Because when they're with you, they feel that sensual joy from life and content and exhilaration. For some of them, it's even glee, and they want to keep that. So if that means that they have to spit in their own faces about the things that they are not, that they weren't willing up until this point to look over, well, they're going to do that. You know, that is, for example, a situation where a person can say, you know, I will never gonna fall in love and I have my standards, and if someone doesn't fall into these standards, they cannot be with me. Well, they will have to think a second, they will have to give it a second try here, a second thought, a second guess, because you are going to F their whole world in a good way, that is. You're going to make them happy, and they will make you happy as well, and they will want that happiness to kind of like go forward, all right? And the point being is that they will not going to jeopardize that happiness because of a silly rules and concepts they have. All right, so that was Virgo, Libra now. Hey, Yadbi. The Emperor. Six of Cups. Judgment. That looks a lot like a test. Actually, it is. More likely to be a business or career test than a you know, personal one. Like, say, your person of interest or your lover tests you. And the test is going to be about reliability, how reliable you are, how much your boss can count on you if they give you a nasty job. And under a nasty job, I mean a job that maybe everything is riding on it. And for that reason, in the next few days, they're gonna break hell for you, all right? So prepare to kind of like have to address, you know, tasks and assignments that are not particularly pleasant. And you know, in these states, people think that it is personal. I mean, at some point you will think that your boss hates you and your boss wants to fire you. They want to make an excuse to fire you, which isn't the case, right? I want to see how much you can withstand the pressure, how reliable you are, and are you gonna crack? And according to these cards, you do have everything to pass that test with flying colors. I mean, if you are to kind of like prove your worth, that is it, right? This is it, because this is gonna build up your posture and your name, especially in business. For relationships, this isn't very good, because yes, it's again test for reliability, how reliable you are to kind of like build a mutual life, but doesn't have any emotions. This is more of a bargain. This is more of a deal than a link. So just so you know, that is for Libra. Now moving next, Scorpio. Ace of Swords. Six of Cups. Knight of Cups. A moment. So I can't even name it a lie. So this is the situation, and it concerns what have been told. Maybe recently, maybe a time ago, but the point being, it is that we are betting on that thing. For example, you may have been told that you are going to be invited for a New Year's party and you are betting on that. Or you have been told that because someone loves you, they're going to do this, this, and this, right? And I cannot name it a lie because the intent is there. Alas, the capability, none, zero capability. And that's what we're going to find out. So that is what we need to know. It's that, yeah, the intent is there. I mean, there is someone that want to make us happy. There is someone that want to, or it could be an entity as well that wants to make our life easier. And they're doing everything they can. They can't. It is outside of their capabilities. It is outside of their power. It is outside of their stature, even. And at least according to the cards, yes, it's not going to be a pleasant thing, but we will take it like a champ. We'll take it like a champ. We will endure through it. And afterwards, we are going to have more accurate understanding how we stand and what can be done for the future. That could play out everywhere. Most likely these things plays within the friendship circle, but it could be also in job or in the intimate circle as well. So brace yourself, guys. Let's brace ourselves, because I'm Scorpio as well. So I will be under this meteor shower as well. All right. Sagittarius. The Wheel of Fortune. The Lovers. The Six of Pentacles. Well, what you need to know, Sagittarius, is that right now you don't have a bad move. Anything you do is gonna work. And that is the message of those cards. Anything you do, it will solve your problems. Any option rather than that you take is gonna work out for you. Whether you take it or leave it, whether you make it or break it, whether even taking a decision to do nothing still is gonna work out for you. That is this is one of the most powerful elemental dignities here. The Wheel of Fortune, that way standing, the Wheel of Fortune and the Lover's card. And it pretty much speaks that right now there will be no negative consequences according to these cards. That doesn't mean that you have to be mindless, right? Or not mindless, but reckless and careless and even ruthless. That pretty much means that, think of it, it is like if the world, it's a storm right now, you're in the very eye in it. And it's calm where you are, and you can pick up in that calmness anything within the storm as a as a opportunity. The Six of Pentacles next to the Wheel of Fortune, it's pretty much speaks that you can even go for things that haven't been meant for you, because right now it seems that things does not belong to the people by right, but it belongs to those who takes it, right? And you can take it right now, but you cannot have all. So you're going to have that conundrum in front of you, whether you go for the option you want or for the option you have to. And under have to, I mean the option you are expected to go for. Either one, like I said, is going to work, but you cannot have it all. You can have a nice job or a well-paid job. You can have a lovely relationship or settled relationship, right? So you cannot have it all, but either way is going to work for you. That is what you need to know. All right, next, Capricorn. Knight of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. What was the star sign? It was Libra that are to be tested. So Libra was about to be tested of their reliability. You are going to be tested as well, Capricorn, for what it seems, but of your worth. And I don't know if you're going to find that insulting or not. But here how it's going to play out, okay? Whether that individual or an entity is going to start giving you, right? Or if you would prefer the word investing in you, but not all at the time, right? But as small pieces at the time, just to see how you respond, just to see what they are getting of all that. And the moment you make an opposition, the investment is going to stop. So think of it that way. Think of it like, for example, you do have a person of interest, you like that woman or the guy, whatever your preference is, and you want things to work out in between you two, and this is what the cards are referring, that's that person. And they start investing into the interaction with you. They call you for a date, say, and the minute you say, I have to think about it, the calls are going to stop. The conversations are going to stop. Because at the end of the day, in their mind, there is nothing to think about it. You either want it or you don't. Simple as that. That is the mindset of what we have here. That is what you need to what you need to know about it. The same thing in work. You know, your boss may start raising your salary bit by bit and seeing, do you work more? And the minute you stop working more, that is the minute your salary gets frozen at the same you know, state. Or it could be also with responsibilities, but in exchange of power. That's the thing here. It's just the other side is going to see how big of a flow of the game of giving and taking you can create in between one another, right? And as soon as you stop giving, they will stop giving too. So don't play hard to get. That is the guidance here, right? And things should go a long way with you, because the other side has a lot to give, but again, that's not a charity. They do expect in return just as much. All right, next, Aquarius. Why do you hate it, Yarbi? That is, in my book at least, that is one of the best things that one can have. You know, a reciprocality, well, reciprocal state in between the giving and taking. Three of Cups, the Fool, the Strength. Well, on a personal level, I don't like the message. For Aquarius, I am rising Aquarius, right? And basically for a personal message, these cards talk about that although things are working out for us to a certain extent right now, we can put our resources to a better use. So long story short, what we need to know on a personal level, it is that we are basically, say, wasting our time and resources with things, whether projects, you know, whether people that, well, not people, leave aside people because that is the social part of the message, but whether things, whether projects, you know, or whether goals that simply are not going to, how can I put it into words? Let's say are not going to matter for us in the future. On the social front or involving other people, that is the message for Aquarius. People share our view. Okay. For example, our view is that we need to marry. Say you do have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a significant one, spouse, and you want to marry, right? Or you want to buy a house, or you want to have children with them. And they do share that vision. That is the message here. At least for now, they want the same thing. But the way to be made, all right, the process, well, this is where the difference lies. But with the Fool being there, that card speaks that, you know, we all can find common ground. It's not going to be our way, but it's not going to be their way either. We are going to meet someone in between into that common ground. And for that reason, we should be lighthearted and detached from, you know, our, I say, ideas and from our drive, so to speak. So we need to be open for suggestion and conversations as well. Going forward with strict rules, with how can I put it into words? With expectations of obligations, setting up rules, that is not how things are going to work out for us here. That is something we need to know. But other than that, hey, whatever we are up to is going to produce results. But on a personal level, like I said, those results ain't gonna matter for in the future. Not like they're not gonna be good results, it's just they ain't gonna matter for us. All right, and last but not least, Pisces. Yeah, well, Yarabi, exactly. It's gonna be tiny at first, but it will have a progression, you know, but it needs reciprocality, so to speak, from your behalf, right? It's a tiny investment at first. You make a tiny return, or you return that tiny investment, and then this investment, the next one, it's a bit bigger, and then a bit bigger, and then a bit bigger, until, you know, things work out. So that whole process is going to take time. But the moment you stop giving back into the investments, it is the moment that the investments basically, they are the plug is going to be pulled, literally. Ace of Swords, the Emperor, and the Star. That concerns your plans, Pisces. And what you need to know first thing is that your plans, ironclad. It's basically nothing can go wrong with them, according to these cards, the very least. Whatever your expectations, whatever your anticipations, whatever your preparations, they're all going to work out. And also, the light at the end of the tunnel, what I mean is that in the next few days, you are going to foresee, even foreshadow for yourself, how things are going to get better, and they are going to get better exactly in that particular way. Consistency is what is expected from you, right? Consistency and not backing off from a fight, because there are going to be a few of those as well. And under a fight, I mean where you will have to really take the reins and control the whole thing, control the whole situation, whether at home or whether at work, you know, whether at your friendship circle. And also another thing that you need to expect, it is a very open conversations. And under open, I mean conversations where things are going to be said exactly as they are, and you shouldn't take things personal at that point. Okay, it's just, you should see it as a piece of information that can be that it can be made use of. And most definitely, you will know how you fit, you will know how you stand, you will know the grand scheme of things, the big picture, the puzzle will be clear in front of you, and there will be no question about what needs to be done next. It will be different for every single one of you, Pisces, but you will definitely, literally know how you need to kind of like address the situation and go forward next. That's good, Taco. All right, guys. So that was Pisces. Now, super chat. So anyone who supported and if you do decide is about to support the stream either through super chat or PayPal, you're about to have your readings right now. And the first to go, that will be Yasmin. So let's check out Yasmin. What do you need to know? So those are your cards that we have. So quite a few things that we do have here. One of it does relate to your standing. What I mean, it is how the world sees you, what kind of impression you make, or in other words said, your sovereignty. And this will improve dramatically in the next few days. People are going to start seeing you more important. People are going to start placing more faith in you, and they're going to start counting more on you, which is going to bring a unique condition for you to further your goal. or rather like further on the accomplishments in the results you do have thus far. And that whole thing, of course, is going to make you super busy. Another thing of what you need to know it is that if you want to make a point across, negotiate something, or to be generally heard, you ain't going to find a better time to do that rather than the next, from the next few days. I mean, it's just the sense in it that you're gonna bring into the table. It's gonna be undeniable. And above everything else, you know, yes, you are gonna be busy. You're gonna have a lot of things that you need to take responsibility about, not for, but about. And under that, I mean, it's that these are gonna be responsible tasks. Okay, you're also gonna find time for yourself and your family. So that will be a very fruitful and productive next few days that you are going to have. And also you will amaze people. At work, you will become a super valuable asset. Yadabi, thank you for the $20. Thank you, Yadabi. Let me put you into the list. Yes, it does. All right, next, Mattia. Or those are your cards, Mattia. It's a matter of prevention. What I mean is that, and I don't know what exactly this is focusing on, but what these cards are talking about here, it is that within the next few days, it will become clear to you what is undermining the whole thing. And under the whole thing, I do mean a thing important for you, that it is a thing of stability, so to speak, a pillar of stability in your life. There is something undermining the foundations of that pillar of stability, and you will find it. And basically solve it. Well, it's going to, and under solve it, I don't mean that this is going to happen like, you know, with the snap of your fingers. The resolution of this situation is going to take a lot of time. It could take even years. Okay, but the bottom line is that wherever your life is bleeding right now, this wound is going to be patched and is going to start mending, and the recovery should be full. That is figuratively speaking. On a personal front, though, potentials. What you need to know is that you do have more potential, a lot more potential in your plans, in your preparations, in your near future, the things you plan to do in the near future. There is more potential into it than you think. So they should turn out better than you are expecting. All right, next, Nancy. Those are cards. Nancy, do you have grievances in, let's say, damaged relationships with relatives, people from your family? Do you have such sort of thing in your life right now? Yeah. Well, according to the cards, it's a tough message to be given, right? Because it does uh it does imply guilt. I don't want to take it the wrong way, okay? Because I don't know if it is about your uncle even, right? It's about the way how, in generally, right? The way how you stand in the family, and the way how you interact with them in general, okay? And according to these cards, you'll see that that's wrong. That is what you need to know. You will see in the next few days that that's wrong. And I don't know if you are gonna strive to fix it, okay? But it's just, what could happen in the way I think that is gonna happen, it is that suddenly some kind of an animosity is going to kind of like, sprinkle out there, and it may catch you off guard, right? You at that point, you are gonna think, why, what made me to deserve this animosity? And it's something that have piled up over the years, right? And it's not something that you did one thing, it is just a way of life in general, a side of you that someone doesn't like, as there are side of them that you do not like. But it's basically what these cards are saying here is that you are going to recognize that. And whether you decide to change it or not, it's entirely up to you. I mean, these cards give us a recommendation, which I'm not going to give you, right? Because it's not my place here to do so. But what you need to know it is that while, you know, it is because of your lifestyle, that is not really your fault, because at the end of the day, if people don't accept you for who you are, you know, there is no point kind of like interacting with these people. Thank you, News Devon, for the £5. Thank you. I put you into the list. And truth be told, Nancy, that is a situation every single one of us has been into. What I mean is that we can't make everyone happy, you know. So this is one of these moments where you're going to see that someone is displeased, and like I said, you probably are going to be baffled by that. Well, that's a big point of a lifestyle disapproval here. It is that you are displaying. I don't know if that's going to be the case. What I mean is that because of it, but it's very possible at the end of the day. All right, next, Jasmine. All right, Jasmine. These are the cards. You will be given an opportunity which you will find very difficult to deny, but you should. Because even if that opportunity prove itself to be gainful, it will not gonna bring you pleasure. If it brings you pleasure, it's not gonna be gainful. In fact, it's going to be super depriving. Okay, so that is a lose-lose opportunity. That's why I am giving the liberty of myself here to tell you that you should, because it's a lose-lose opportunity. Okay, and if you deny that opportunity, you still lose the opportunity itself. So no matter what you do, you lose. So here, you better, I don't know, that's what the cards are showing. That is what you need to know. You're going to be given the opportunity. It will sound amazing. Okay, make your due diligence. That is very important. Make your due diligence and you will see that it is something you definitely need to pass. Don't be swiped away by the sweetness that it is presented to you up front, because it's bitter and sour and even rotten within. That is your message. So it's a warning, Jasmine. And the reason for that is because the person that is going to address you with this opportunity, it's a traitor. Right? It's going to betray you the first moment that this suits them better than having you by their side. All right, next. Anna. Oh, definitely. It could be that. Yeah. Make your due diligence, right? Because again, one of them, it will be that, but you may have to choose in between three. But the point of the reading, Jasmine, is that just because something looks almost perfect, flawless, and you find no reason to deny it, that doesn't mean that there is none. So make your due diligence. You're welcome. Those are your cards, Anna. So there is no question about it that next few days, some kind of a deal, and it could be as well, figuratively speaking, deal, is going to be done. It's a done deal, right? The thing is that I put it into words. It's gonna bring a lot of newness into the table, but also it's that whole deal is going to omit a lot of old stuff you are used to on the table as well. Whatever the case, though, this deal, figuratively speaking, a deal, is going to expose you to the world. Now you will be seen, right? I can't say that you are going to start becoming famous, but you will be seen. For example, I know that you do have a beauty salon. Now imagine that in the next few days to a couple of weeks, some kind of a huge brand approaches you with a deal to represent them. That exposes you, right? It puts you on the map. But in order to represent them, you have to adopt many new ways and abandon old ways. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just in order to consolidate that deal, which is going to be, by the way, your choice, right? The deal comes and it's going to be your choice, would you take it or not? But in order to take it, you should be open for a lot of reconstruction, so to speak. It could be a deal, for example, marriage, or I don't know, something else like that, okay? Where you will have to adopt newness and abandon old ways. So that's what we do have, and it's this, once that deal is done or you pass it, whichever way, that will close and finalize a very important cycle that you are living through right now. So you are coming up to a culmination here. That is what you need to know. And the next few days to a couple of weeks, super important, because the details that matter are going to be pretty much settled the next, like I said, few days to a couple of weeks. So that is what you need to know. All right, Taco. I don't think it's like that, Anna. That, like I said, that is something that puts you on the map. You, right? I don't know. All right, Taco. These are your cards that we have. Well, that could be the very start of it, Anna. Yes. And kind of like acknowledges you, you know, offers you a deal, some kind of a deal, and there you go. You are starting to be on the map. All right, Taco. What you need to know, mate, it is that, well, in our country, we do have a parable, and it may not make much sense in English, but it actually describes these cards the best. And we do say that sometimes the worst is the best, right? The worst is the best. What I mean is that, you know, you go through some kind of a rough patch, and later down the line it turns out you are grateful that you went through that rough patch, because at the time, yes, it was rough patch, but ultimately provided way more if you haven't went through it. Okay, So that is what we do have here for you. It is that what you need to know, it is that the pain, the suffering, the problems, the trauma, whatever you are going through right now, mate, actually it's a secret blessing in disguise, right? And it builds up your independence big time. So at the end of this, if you want to call it a transition here, you ain't gonna be chained if you are right now, and you pretty much will define your own stature, for a lack of better expression. But also it's gonna play a very vital role into your overall success. And when I do say success, I do mean successful life in general, not just only business success, not just only financial, not just only kind of like family success or friend or social circle success. Overall success, when you pile all up, you define it as a successful life. It will play a huge role into that, and also it's going to make your life very, very comfortable. So if you are going through a rough patch right now, it's time is nigh, right? And it's almost over, and basically it's going to play out much better than if you haven't went through it. Yeah, something like that. All right. Gotta be. You want a story till the end of October. Thank you, Taco. All right. Those are your cards. Gotta be. All right, Jasmine. Those are your cards. Unfortunately, by the end of October, you will fight with someone that is important to you. Okay. And the fight is going to happen most likely over the phone. And the reason for it is because you just don't share a value. What I mean is that something is going to be a big deal for you and nothing for them, right? Or vice versa. And that is going to be a point of conflict in between you two. Now, luckily, this point of conflict, the best that is going to do is make you feel bad. So at least according to the cards, there will be no serious repercussions for the relationship that you do have with this individual. And very much that could be also for some kind of either acquisition or a gift, All right. Say you want to surprise them with a gift, you buy something, you give that to them, and they are just not happy with the say the resources you spend for that gift, and you start kind of like, you know, arguing about it, and there is no point. You think that they deserve it, they think that they don't deserve it. They can't tell you what they deserve or not. You can't tell them what they deserve or not. So it's best thing here, and what you need to know is, do not pay attention to that. Just ignore, you know, the taunts and the animosity from the people you love, because the only thing that is gonna make you feel bad. Neither you will be able to convince them in your points of view, nor they in theirs. Okay, that is basically the story by the end of October. And how fast it ends, it depends how much fuel you're gonna pour into that fire. Best is don't put a fuel in it, smother it with water. Okay. All right, Jasmine, you want the Lenormand reading? So these are going to be the next 3 important events in your life. All right, first one. Here. First one. A friend of yours is gonna fall ill. Second. Those 3. This is a beautiful partnership. I don't know what about though, right? This is a beautiful partnership that comes as a gift. Literally comes as a gift. And the third one, it pretty much shows that a huge blockage is going to pretty much be released. Okay, that could be blockage either of a family. So you may have a blockage within the family, like for example, you cannot take your place there, or you cannot get on the same page with someone, you know, delays and whatnot, or a blockage about sex. Your sex life or intimate life could be DOA, you know, and that blockage is going to be done. And so, you know, if you want to, you can, from there on moving forward, have sex with someone or with multiple people, whatever your preference, right? And these are the next 3 events. That with the friend, it's kind of, it's not good in a sense of that. What the cards are showing is that this is an underlying issue that this friend of yours is just not paying attention to, or is ignorant about, and it won't be denied anymore. So how ill they're gonna fall, I cannot say. Or, you know, is that curable or not as well, I can't say. It's not within the cards, but it is something that is going to affect you. Again, this is an interpretation, so if you will, take it with a grain of salt. All right, and last but not least, we do have News Devon. So what do you need to know? This is your card. Use your own. And according to it, the first thing that you need to know is that you should be proud of your accomplishments thus far. And the second thing that you should know it is that whatever your goals, whatever your dreams, whatever the odds, okay, because according to the cards, right, or to the card itself right now, the odds are stacked against you. Whatever the odds, you can beat them, okay? But you need to rely on yourself. This isn't a cumulative job here. This isn't a cumulative drive. It is your own personal drive, right? And you just have to arm yourself with your determination, iron will, charge forward, and there is nothing that you cannot accomplish. And on the intimate front, if you are dating someone, what you need to know is that you both are taking it a bit too fast for the time being. That is not necessarily a bad thing, just so you know that if you do commit, there will be things that you would rather know about beforehand, because the very least they're gonna make things feel awkward. All right, guys, so that's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you do enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for your generosity, and we're gonna see each other next time.